they were very strong. So I could have did probably a little bit of damage, nothing too much. I'm sorry, y'all, I'm a little sick, but I
know there's gonna be work every day till we meet ends. I have to turn it up on the weekends.
Alright, so hey y'all, this is Salute Love 247, and I'm coming to y'all with a story time. This is gonna be my first story time and not my last, because I do have a lot of stories that I want to share. As you can see from the title, this story time is a little weird. I don't really understand it too much, but we just gonna get straight into it. I basically fought a grandma, and you know what? I don't regret it, cause you know, she was kind of strong, y'all. Like, she was strong. Like, don't
think she was like an 80-year-old woman who rolls around and who lost bone cartilage. No, this lady was a full-grown woman that was strong and scary.
But you know, she was scary, but she didn't scare me or whatever. I'm gonna tell you why. Back in them days, you had a little radio, you know, and it was cool if you had the radio. If you had the radio, and I had a big radio, not the smart radio. I ain't do the small thing. I had the big radio, so I was the ish or whatever. And I was in my, okay, for some of y'all know, this really ghetto little daycare that I got raised in. That kind of shows me why I made the decisions I make now, okay? Because it was a little ghetto place, and I don't know why my mama sent me there. Culture, it's okay, culture is good. So we had our nice little radio, and me and my friends, you know, we was bumping to, what song was it? Chicken Noodle Soup. We had Young Jock. Like, I was the ish with the radio, so nobody could really come for me. But she came for me, so I was just a little confused that the radio just she didn't get the message that I have a radio and she needs to sit down. But you know, she stood up. So I got the radio, and we were bumping to the music, and she said, turn the music down. Now, although we was bad little kids, I was the respectful one. Always the respectful one, you know. So I turned it down like one notch. You know, it didn't need two notches. It just needed one notch. So I turned down one notch, probably two the most. But the music was not that loud, to be honest. The music, to be honest, the music was not that loud. She was just a very depressed woman. I turned on the radio about two notches, and you know, we still bumping. We vibing in the club, going down to the chicken and butter. And then she comes over and she takes up my radio. Okay, she takes up mine. Let's remember, it's mine. Sleep. I think I even wrote my name on it. Like, it was that serious, y'all. Like, she took up my radio and then she walked, you know, a distance. And I was like, okay, she took our radio, y'all. She took our radio. Then she slammed the radio, and it was just like. Then my friends was like. And I was just like. Oh, Jesus. So I had to pray. So I had to say, Lord Jesus, you are my divine God. That you will let this lady respect me, Lord, before I have to go over there and pray. And at that point, I was like, should I go over there? Actually, no, I didn't even question it. I went over there because she slammed a radio. You know, radio was fake. You can't be saying people stuff like that. What if it broke? So I was like, excuse me. I was kind of bad back then, thinking about it, because I was a little bad. So she slammed my radio. And I was like, can you not slam my radio like that? And then she started talking mess. You know, I could do whatever I want. You know, she had a little accent. She was like, I can do whatever I want. And I was just like, okay, she probably was, at that time, she probably was like 40. You know, and that's not old, but when you're about 10 years old, you know, she was like around the age 40 to 50. She couldn't be younger than 40 because Honey did not look younger than 40. So she had to be 40 to like 50, like, yeah. Between them times. But I was around, how old was I? I don't know, probably 10 or no, probably 8. I'm gonna say 7 to 10 years old. And I was just like, excuse me. So she was like, I can do whatever I want. She slammed my radio. I got crunk. So then I went over there and I picked up my radio because this was not gonna happen today, okay? This was not gonna happen. So I went over there and I picked up my radio, and she took the radio on my head. I said, lady, if you don't put my radio down, cause we gonna have some problems. You feel me? So I was just like, I would just try to take out my radio and leave, you know. So she took my radio in my hand and slammed it back on the table. Look, I was gonna snatch her edges out. Let's get a moment of silence for them edges that I was gonna snatch out. Also a moment of silence of my edges, how they're fleeking. Probably not this side too much though, but still. That's when I got really quick and I got really mad, and I was like, as I'm trying to take up my radio again, she pushes me. That's how I know this lady didn't have no respect for me, because I was 7 years old. She pushing a 7 year. This, you know what? I should have reported her. I should have reported her because she did not have to push me like that. Okay, so she pushed me. So I still took up my radio, and you know, I didn't really push her, but I gave her a little nudge because I knew she was an elderly woman and she probably could have whipped my behind, but at that time, you know, you don't care. So, you know, I did give her a little nudge, nothing too crazy. And I gave her a little nudge, so I just, you know, was like, I wasn't. So I gave her a little nudge, and then she pushed me again. Y'all. After she pushed me, you know, people had to hold us back and stuff, and she was strong, so she broke through. But I know I could have did a little bit of damage, nothing too crazy, because her hands were very, they were very strong, y'all. They were very strong. So I could have did probably a little bit of damage, nothing too much. But if she would have, she would have really hurt me back then. Now, I mean, everything's a little different, but you know, I'm not violent, so only if I need to be. And at that moment, I felt like I needed to be violent, but was really a place where I loved. It was my childhood, so fighting back would have caused so much stuff, y'all. Like, I would have been suspended. I could not go there. And you know, I also wanted to respect her. Like, on a serious note, I did want to respect. But y'all, if I was like a really troubled child, that would have been definitely a problem because her push was kind of hard. So basically, that is the time where I fought at grandma. I really hope y'all enjoyed this story time. This is my first one. I decided to do just a little story because that was like a little part of my life that I hold dearly to my heart, because it was such a tragic time and memorable. That time was memorable and it was kind of fun. So I did, at the end of the day, I did take back my radio and I went right back over to my friends. And you know how it is when you get back your stuff. But at first she was not gonna, y'all. She was not gonna give me my radio, y'all. It took a few minutes to give me my radio. It took a few minutes, and then after that situation, she tried to be nice to me. I guess that bump kind of got her scared or whatever. So, you know. The fact is, she used to love me, but it's like there was a situation where I can't really tell the situation, but the situation where she stopped liking me because I had a problem with one of her family members. It's a long story, y'all, and that might be another story time, but I don't know if I should get into that. I don't know. Y'all, my childhood was so troubled. It was so troubled. All in all, I got on my radio, and you know, I'm still the baddest.
If you like this video, give it a big thumbs up, and if you don't like this video, you can
suck my ass, because you're no good and better than everybody else.